State. Dave Fleming, Dan Dakich, Molly McGrath. James Blackman has been the star for Indiana, playing without one of their stars, OG Anunoby, who is out for the rest of the year. This is the Hoosiers' first game without him, and so far they have leaned on their junior, James Blackman. He's got 13 already, 5 of 5 from the field. And Assembly Hall is rocking. That Hoosiers offense has been rocking. Dan Dakich out on the court. So as we welcome the bigger audience in, Dan, let's do some teaching.
Hey, I almost got hit by a 5-time national champs out here, the cheerleading team. Indiana loves to play downhill. What does that mean? We saw it already earlier. However they set it up, ball screen, whatever they want to do, handoff, they get the ball going to the right. What happens is there's a guy in the corner. If I can turn the corner and kick it, fine. But if not, I hand it off. On the handoff, the next guy takes it this way. He may get a ball screen, he may not, but that's all window dressing. They want to get the ball going to the rim. It's an old school weave in college basketball, 3-man weave with high ball screen. The difference with Indiana is they'll use Thomas Bryant, their 5-man out here. They would use Anunoby. They'll use Zach McRoberts. They'll use bigger guys. Old school basketball played a new school way, and it's really effective for Indiana.
All right, good stuff, Dan. I think we found an example to support what you're talking about. The key guy to watch will be Thomas Bryant. I'll see if I can find him as he comes into the screen on the right side. The big man, Thomas Bryant, the guy Dan's talking about there, headed towards the middle. James Blackman over here, headed up high. And we'll let the play roll and see if Dan knows what he's talking about. Pretty nice move from Thomas Bryant. Even though he did travel on that play, it's an example of what Indiana's looking to do when they have the ball.
And it's their closer. Like you say, all right, they only did it once or twice. I'm telling you, 10 minutes to go in the game, if they're up, that's their closing move. They just penetrate, put pressure on you. Maybe there's a ball screen in there, maybe not. It's really good.
All right, the Spartans have the ball out of the timeout. Miles Bridges, their freshman who is playing so well these days, had his shot at the rim blocked. He was asking for a push.
Well, he can ask all he wants, but Davis came over and just threw it to the band.
Nick Ward looking to start the break, double dribbled. Tom Izzo did not agree with that call. 22nd year at Michigan State, and the great head coach, maybe his youngest team and maybe his most challenging team with the youth and then the injuries that they've suffered, even going back before the year started with their big men.
They were anticipating having Gavin Schilling and Carter. Gavin Schilling, a senior, Carter, a fifth-year transfer from Nevada. And they anticipated having 2 veterans up front. Now they have 2 freshmen up front.
Tom issued sort of a warning of sorts this week. Underestimate us at your own danger, because he thinks his team has great upside. James Blackman is unconscious.
Well, you can say that all you want, but you better guard him.
Guard him. Wow.
You know, the best way to guard James Blackman is to make it really difficult for him to get the ball, and do that, because he really has no interest in defense. You can go by him defensively, but you have to make it tough for him to get the ball. He's getting the ball too easy.
Quick three. That one's good. Devontae Green off the bench.
Why not? Just throw him in.
Indiana's 6 of 6 from behind the line. Nick Ward, his second straight bucket.
And I love that no call. Look, Davis, a big dude. He got touched. He fell. Fine. No call. Good no call. Bucket for Davis. I think that Michigan State has to continue to go inside.
Don't reward a sell job.
No.
Now an offensive foul committed by Davis.
Hey, games do carry over. I don't care what anybody tells you. The kid hit a 3, James Blackman Jr. hit a 3 to win a game. That carries over. He is absolutely on fire here. Now, you saw the threes, but he went down to the mid-post and hit a jump shot. He's as talented offensive player as there is in the country.
Well, already this game is like the perfect example of Indiana's offensive season. When they don't turn it over, they're scoring.
You can't guard
They've already got 5 turnovers in the first 10 minutes, so that's a pace for right around 20. Too many. When they take care of the ball, they score.
And, you know, the other thing for Michigan State, they're only down 8. I mean, they've had a barrage of threes here. and they're only down 8, so they just need to keep playing the way they've played lately. Dribble it, drive it, and don't fumble it out of bounds.
Matt McQuaid is struggling.
And that's his spot. He loves the left corner.
Kawhi Leonard does too. Did you know that?
I do.
Spurs Cavs, the first NBA Saturday primetime matchup of the year, tonight 8:30 on ABC.
I thought it was cool what LeBron James said about Popovich, greatest coach of all time, because as basketball has changed, Greg Popovich has changed with it. I think that's pretty cool that he said that. Real recognize real, baby.
Those are two of the all-time greats at what they do. Thomas Bryant back in, and a nice dish for the big man.
Hey, Robert Johnson just sprinted on his cut. And I mean, that's what you do. You don't jog on cuts. He sprinted. That was textbook.
They left Tum Tum Nairn open. McQuaid had a hand on it. It was knocked out of bounds off of Blackman.
Coach, I was open. Tum Tum Nairn's going to say, well, of course you're open because you can't shoot. I know you made one. There's a reason you're open. That's a great cut by Robert Johnson. Indiana playing well.
9:26 to go. First half still very early against a good defensive team. The Hoosiers offense has been spectacular. McQuaid almost slipped. Bridges from the corner. Langford hit the offensive glass. He's called for a foul though. Now let's go back to Molly.
Well, Dave, I mentioned it earlier. He hasn't gone in yet, but Indiana's Juwan Morgan tells me that he will try to play despite a left foot injury. He said he's not in any pain. He was moving well during warm-ups, but he did not practice this morning. Coaching staff says he's the kind of guy who will push himself to play no matter what, so keep an eye out for that, Dave.
Yeah, and the guy sitting next to him, Colin Hartman, hasn't played all year. He's been injured, and Colin Hartman is maybe the ultimate glue guy.
So at the moment, no Hartman, no Anunoby, no Morgan. We'll see about Juwan. Blackman Nairn was all over him. Forced him to give it up. Bryant reverse. Good.
You know, again, Michigan State screwing up their scouting report. Bridges just stayed out wide with Zach McRoberts. He didn't give him any help. You have to help when Brian's driving.
Ward?
Sweet.
Yeah.
That was the old how's your father.
You know, he is, of all the freshmen for Michigan State, probably the least heralded coming into school, arguably the most productive since he's been in school.
Yeah, well, it's in part because of Miles Bridges' injury. Miles Bridges is a guy that was the most heralded, but I'll tell you this, nobody has played better than him.
Bryant shot the three, McRoberts offensive rebound. Curtis Jones, the freshman off the bench for Indiana. Robert Johnson feeling it. Good entry pass with the left hand, no good.
McRoberts on the board again, didn't get it.
Two good plays by McRoberts, did not end up with a basket. Good job by Ward to run the floor. He draws a foul.
Both teams, they run Main Street. Their big guys will run right down the middle. You call it Main Street. That time Ward beat everybody from Indiana down.
How about Kirkwood Ave?
I like Kirkwood Ave.
In front of a raucous crowd here in the first half. Dave Fleming, Dan Dakich, Molly McGrath. Time for our meaningful returns, brought to you by TD Ameritrade. Miles Bridges, since coming back from that ankle injury, has been playing at a high level.
Yeah, 20 points a game over the last 24 against Ohio State. If you're an All-American, you're the guy, you're the draft choice. You got to play in this game. This big-time game, unbelievable environment, best in the Big Ten. You got to play in this one.
So out of the timeout, Nick Ward, one of those Spartans freshmen, at the free throw line where he needs to get better. He draws a ton of fouls. And he misses the first. Let's welcome in Molly.
Tom Izzo wants a couple of his young guys off the bench to get that deer in headlights look off of their faces. He wants them to settle down a little bit. He also wants to get Miles Bridges and Nick Ward more involved, and he's okay with Bridges taking some outside shots, guys.
Ward missed them both. Nobody in college hoops, nobody draws more fouls per 40 minutes than Nick Ward.
Nick Ward has well, look, when you're as big as Nick Ward, you got to have two things. You got to have good hands, you got to have good feet, or you wouldn't be playing at this level at his size. But his release is awful, and they've got to get it to where the ball spins backwards, not around.
I don't know about that one. Over the back on Thomas Bryant, so a missed shot and then a foul.
Look, the thing you have to do if you're Michigan State is just keep putting pressure on the three. 6 of 7, that's great, but water finds its level. 6 of 7 means you have 6 of 7 misses coming because nobody's shooting 50%. So you just stay with it if you're Michigan State. Keep guys in front of you and don't give easy ones.
Well, the Spartans in a lot of ways got blitzed in the early minutes of this game by James Blackman especially. And yet it's just a 10-point margin. Harris curls, misses the jumper.
It's good action, just missed the shot. Indiana, nice job corralling the offensive rebound. Oh,
Johnson, three. He is
so good. He is so good. He plays both ends, Robert Johnson. He leads, he talks. He's all Big Ten, and he'll never be all Big Ten.
Tom Izzo was making the case that he was Indiana's best player. I mean, Tom Izzo thinks he, at the least, might be their most important player.
I totally agree.
From the baseline, I think Indiana will live with that shot.
Yeah, but Indiana went to zone. I think it was a bad move. They had Michigan State a little sped up, not getting great shots. Zone was a good look.
Goins hit the jumper. Back to an 11-point margin.
Just watch how much pressure, not right this moment, but over the last, 26 minutes, Indiana puts on you offensively. They just put so much pressure by driving the basketball, weaving the basketball, ball screen, but everybody is going to the rim.
That should have been 2 more. Newkirk followed his own miss and just blew the layup. Bridges, nice pass. Goins over the shot blocker. No.
Goins needed to kick that out as soon as he got off balance. He had an open Aaron Harris standing waiting.
There's a whistle.
I hate to see that call, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
I happened to be watching both Goins and Thomas Bryant, and they were hustling. I mean, they were flying down the court, and they just happened to meet up, and it was almost like they banged into each other because they were a little tired, and the ref made a choice. I hate that call. It meant nothing to the play.
So the foul goes against Goins. Indiana with Blackman back in the game. Johnson thought about it.
Yeah, he did. Should.
Green. Blackman, good look down low, reverse, no good, and the follow was missed.
That was that weave action we showed you at the under 12 timeout, and the end of it is if you turn the corner, you can come off, or when it's dribbled at you, you can back cut. Here's the weaving action. Now, ball's dribbled at you, you back cut. And Freddie McSwain couldn't quite get it in. I'm telling you, it put so much pressure on the defense because all 4 guys on the perimeter are pretty good ball handlers.
And he did ultimately draw a foul. So Freddie McSwain makes the first of 2.
And is he built? He is a built, explosive guy. Hasn't played much, but with Hartman and now Morgan out, Anunoby out as well, he's going to get a chance.
I mean, he's not as good of an overall player as Anunoby, but he's got the same kind of physical presence.
Yeah, he's not the player, and he's not as tall. Anunoby goes about, when you're next to him, 6'8", 6'9", but he's strong-built, active guy. I'd go right back into Ward if I could, or I'd post up Bridges here against Johnson. Johnson with a foul.
Both point guards on the floor for Michigan State, Winston and Nairn. Tum trying to drive it.
Did you hear the crowd? The crowd cheered because Blackman stayed in front of somebody. Now he's going to have to do it again.
Bridges too strong. Ward on the offensive glass, and he takes it right at Bryant, who fouled him.
I have been the biggest critic of James Blackman, both locally and nationally, but I'm telling you, that last possession, James Blackman did a great job of defending 2 people, and the crowd reacted. He all of a sudden got caught on Bridges here, stayed down, he's quick enough, stayed active. Bridges did not get comfortable. Earlier, he defended Nairn.
So he's doing a little bit of everything. Ward gets 2 free throws. Thomas Bryant thought it was a 1-and-1. 2 free throws. Nobody per 40 minutes gets fouled more than Nick Ward. That's a skill.
You're exactly right. That's being able to play with your head up in traffic, because he attracts. You know what I mean? Guys will help off Nairn, guys will help off Winston and come double him, but he attracts.
That's why I say he's just got to get better at the line. Shooting 55%. He shoots a ton of free throws.
Yeah, it becomes a turnover. I mean, a good turnover because the foul is committed, but a turnover nonetheless, no points.
Indiana ball. Green almost fumbled it.
Look how easy he gets it.
He really does. Tried to use the glass. He finally has missed a shot. And now the Spartans have an advantage. Nairn, Harris. That's a blocking foul. Pretty good transition defense, but a foul against Indiana.
I thought it was great transition defense, and they did call the foul. But the reason it was great, do not jog back, sprint back. You see, Johnson is right there. He's underneath the basket. He's moving his feet. Yeah, it's a good call. But still, he's back ready to play people. Nobody ran past him. Kids make so many mistakes by jogging back. A guy runs past you, it's a layup. Okay, they didn't get a layup. Now you got to go make 2 free throws. I think it's the most under-taught aspect of both college and high school basketball, transition defense.
Aaron Harris at the free throw line. Earns the second.
No, look where Johnson is. He's right here. He is getting back. Nobody runs by him. Nobody runs. He should sprint back, but he doesn't. But nobody gets past. He's active with his feet, and he takes away a 3-on-1 layup. I'd rather see him turn, run, look over his shoulder, but that's all right. Nobody ran by him. You cannot let anybody run by. Think about this. What sport is it good for the defensive player to get the ball thrown over their head? There's no sport. Cornerback, you don't want the ball thrown over your head. You know, baseball, you don't want the ball going over your head.
You're right. Whistle. Now a foul against Michigan State.
Yeah, they can have that. I was watching. Again, Nairn was battling. Blackman was battling. I say it every game. Big life, big stage, Big Ten. You and I are more physical at the table when we're going after a Diet Coke.
Quit touching my paper.
All right.
That was, you never know. Sometimes whistles start on one end and a few more come on the other end. Blackman aggressively scores.
Can't let him in the middle. Aaron Harris made a mistake. You cannot let James Blackman go everywhere that he wants to go. You let him in the middle, you're dead. Force him to a side where there's help, you got a chance.
What a first half. He's got 18.
Tell you what, he's played defense too for the most part.
Bridges lost it, but it's off of Indiana. It'll take us to a timeout. 3:55 to go first half. Hoosiers at home playing very well.
Seth Green.
Yeah, they'll have lots of stuff at halftime, and I'm sure they'll look forward to the game in Durham at Cameron Indoor. You know, Duke, coming into the year, the freshmen were a big part of the story with Miles Bridges and all the great freshmen around the country, but certainly at Duke with many of them. But for a totally different reason, you could argue they are still the story of college basketball, much different than maybe all of us anticipated.
I mean, let's think about it. Grayson Allen and his shenanigans, and you've got Player of the Year Harry Giles, who hasn't even played really. Then you've got Coach K out. A lot going on. Harris,
catch and shoot. Foul against Nick Ward. A lot of touchy fouls. I thought he went just straight up to go for the ball.
Just because we touch doesn't mean it's a foul. I want to yell at the ref as he's running past here, but I don't want to get tossed. And I don't blame Izzo for being mad because that one ref is killing this game.
No, we wanted you to stay here for the rest of this game. Ron Davis down low. That was a quick spin move for the big guy.
Hey, he has improved. In fact, he's better than Bryant. He's played much better than Bryant over the last few games because he's gone on the block and he's just whooped up on people.
Better than Bryant just down low or playing better overall?
I think he's playing better overall. I think that Thomas Bryant has lost who he is by bitting on the perimeter all the time. I think Davis has been terrific.
Ward trying to answer. That was good defense.
And he was on the proper shoulder. And Izzo wants a foul.
Newkirk all the way. Timeout, Michigan State. Biggest lead for the Hoosiers.
Toughest place to play in the Big Ten when it's rocking, and it is rocking.
The two winningest programs in the history of the sport. Run, baby, run. What a capper for a great Big 12 SEC challenge.
This is going to be a blockbuster.
All right, so we found out game day will be there next Saturday. No shot, Kansas, Kentucky. Ooh, boy.
Oh, man. That's going to be a ton of fun. I'm a big fan of those Kentucky freshmen. I'm a big fan of Josh Jackson, too. I think he's terrific for Kentucky or Kansas.
You know, we love the ACC Big 10 Challenge. That SEC Big 12 Challenge where they've moved it now to the middle of the conference season. We play it every year in late January. I think it's worked really well.
The only coach I'm betting that really likes it is Calipari, because it seems like he likes those kind of things. Everybody else is like, come on, man.
It's really good for us.
It's awesome.
It's good.
It's the best.
It's good stuff to talk about. Bridges had a chance for two, missed the front end. Michigan State just trying to stay in this game with as well as Indiana's playing on offense.
You know, you said it at the beginning of the telecast that Newkirk is the one true point guard, and Indiana fans always have to find a guy to complain about. He's been the guy, but I think he's valuable to this team.
They left him open, and he missed a three. That's his first three miss, James Blackman. But the ball went out of bounds off the Spartans.
Yeah, he rushed that one. Came out of his hand dead right. Lucky to hit a little rim. Izzo all over the refs.
He's one of the top scorers in the Big Ten. He's already over his season average. He's got 18 in this first half. Newkirk three, way off the mark.
Well, maybe Indiana fans are right.
But Green steals it back and finds Davis.
How nice is it to have a guy like Green that comes off the bench, knocks in shots, assists guys well.
That one hurt the Spartans. It's an 8-0 run. Bridges to the basket. Had it partially deflected. Here comes Indiana. 3-on-3. Newkirk open again. And again he comes up way short, but saved into Davis. There's Blackman. Air ball.
He dropped his hands. He went Allen Iverson with that.
Harris, I thought he did, but he'll get the layup.
I don't know how you missed that. Terry Weimer told Green that he kind of juggled it. But that looked like a dead walk to me. Big sequence right there. 5-point sequence with Blackman having an open three.
The Spartans are just trying to stay in contact. Final minute 20. Indiana's won for their last 7 from 3, so they've cooled off from the outside. There's a whistle and a foul before the shot.
Hey, I really like Green. I think Green comes in to deuce. Look at that. He plays low, and then he goes and makes a play. Takes his time, little no look, freshman to freshman. Devontae Green has added a really nice element to Indiana. Curtis Jones was the guy early in the year against Kansas who was terrific late in the game in overtime, but this kid Green has played really well.
Comes from that great basketball family. Danny Green, his brother.
Danny Green's good, really good player.
Has been a really good NBA player.
Danny Green is, wouldn't you agree, he's kind of the model for right place, right system to play in the NBA?
Right era as well,
yeah,
I would say.
Right.
This sort of period in NBA history where his skill set particularly valued. Yeah. But Devontae, he's going to be a good one for Indiana.
I think he's good right now. He's got a terrific body. He plays low. He doesn't really get rattled. You got 3 point guards out there right now.
1 out of 2 for Newkirk.
It's a big minute. Big minute for Michigan State. Need a bucket, a stop, and a bucket if they can get it.
Well, their offense was kind of keeping up with Indiana in the early minutes. Not the case for later stages of this first half. And Harris has been sloppy. Blackman defending there. Shot clock at 4. McQuaid lost it.
Indiana's defense has been great. Indiana's defense has been maligned, and it probably should be, but not tonight. Here's what they've done. They haven't got caught up in screens. They've gotten in a stance, and they've kept the ball for all intents and purposes in front of them. This has been a fast-paced game, and Izzo's team is only going to have 28 points going to half.
And they protected the ball. Meanwhile, they forced 8 Michigan State turnovers.
And they've all been because Michigan State's going too fast. Indiana has not gotten hung up on screens at all.
Blackman.
Got to keep him on that side.
Trying to go by Ward. Shot clock at 2. Newkirk, a long 3. The follow by Green. He had a chance just to catch it, I think, and come down with it.
He did. He was, I think he got caught with 3 things. The baseline, shooting it as he did, and flipping it back to Thomas Bryant, who he saw out of the corner of his eye. Great hustle play, though. Got to go right at the rim against Blackman. There you go.
Nairn flipped it up. Tip is good by Ellis. He'll get credit for the basket.
Well, that was big. Last minute of halves are huge. Indiana could have taken this way out, but that bucket right there changes your narrative coming into halftime, both Green and Izzo.
So count the basket. James Blackman with 18 first half points. He was a pain in the side of Tom Izzo. Tom Crean has to be happy, though. He's with Molly McGrath.
Coach, James Blackman, 18 points. What does he need to continue to do offensively?
Keep moving without the ball, keep defending the way that he is, and he's letting the game come to him. And you'd think with a guy with 8, he should have followed through on that one shot in the corner. Other than that, everything's been great. He's done a great job.
Michigan State likes to run with it. Your thoughts on your transition defense so far?
Well, we've got to keep getting back. There's no question about that. And they got to get back on us. So it's going to be a battle of that. And it's going to come down to who does the best job protecting that rim, challenging shooters. We cannot overhelp when Nairn drives because he's only going to the rim or he's trying to kick the ball. And we've got to do a better job there.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Back in Bloomington, where the home fans had a lot to cheer about, Indiana with a 44-30 lead over Michigan State as we get ready to start the second half. Dave Fleming, Dan Dakich, Molly McGrath back with you. I know Tom Izzo wasn't happy with the way his team played defense, but Dan, at some level, you do have to credit Indiana's offense. They were spectacular.
Hey, Indiana's offense was great, led by James Blackman. So good, in fact, we went and looked up who's the all-time leading scorer in the building, single game, and it's 42 by Alford. So might be in jeopardy. And the offense been great, and the defense has been too.
Yeah, got a chance at least. James Blackman. Molly did, in fact, speak with Tom Izzo. Molly?
Tom Izzo very frustrated at the half, as you alluded to, stressing that they need to slow down Indiana's guard play. He said, we're not guarding anybody. He said there's a lot of defensive lapses. They're allowing a lot of penetration. And he said, I quote, our defense from some of our guards is pathetic, Dave. So look for some changes, hopefully, in the second half.
I think pathetic describes it. But I'll tell you this, James Blackman is absolute, or was to start the game, absolute death. I mean, he was knocking them in from everywhere.
He had his first 16 of those 18 in a flash.
Quick, yeah.
Aaron Harris, a quick shot to start the second half, and a good beginning for the Spartans.
Yeah, really good. Little re-screen by Ward. He was outside, handed it off, set a screen. Nice.
Yeah, for all that went wrong for Michigan State, it's an 11-point game.
Honest to goodness, I thought it could have ended up being 20. By the way, the last 3 minutes could have gone.
Ward got around and denied that entry pass to Bryant. I do too. There were a couple open looks, uncontested shots for Indiana where it was about to get away from Tom Izzo.
We had a 5-point play late. James Blackman with a great look. And it was interesting. Molly must bring this out of people because Crean said exactly, you know, he gave her more right there at halftime. He would have liked to have seen James Blackman follow through. He didn't. We'll see if he does this half.
Johnson missed the 3. Bryant knocked it out of bounds.
You know, when shooters stay with shots, they go in. When shooters think they're Allen Iverson, drop their hands, put them in their back pocket, they miss badly, and that's exactly what Blackman did late in the half.
All right, isn't this interesting? We're only a few seconds into the second half. Already the folks here in Bloomington a little uneasy, I think.
Oh, they've seen Michigan State. I mean, you know, and they know when their team is settling.
Nairn lost it. Just a totally unforced turnover. Blackman got fouled on the floor. And Ellis starting the second half, so maybe one of those moves. Molly sort of referred to the anger of Tom Izzo with his perimeter players. Ellis on the court.
You don't see, and nor should you see, McQuaid. He really struggled. Cassius Winston's a guy that I think could impact this game, but he didn't guard anybody in the first half.
Well, Harris let Blackman get free.
I can't believe that.
How does that happen?
I'll tell you how it happens. You stay even or underneath him. You have to stay on top of James Blackman, make him work to get the basketball. You get even with him or below him, he can beat you to a spot. Let's show you right here. All right, watch Blackman. The defender is right here even with him. You have to be above him. Blackman's just able to run right out. It's almost like they didn't know whether they were in man-to-man out of bounds or a zone out of bounds. Either way, that's on Harris, the senior.
And look, Aaron Harris is a good player. That was not a good
That was awful.
play. Ward missed it. Tip up, no good. Harris saved it, but right to McRoberts.
And McRoberts has played a fantastic game.
Here's Johnson. Bryant was not ready for the ball. He'll get it back from Blackman, working against Ward. Thomas Bryant, little shot fake, good.
Hasn't happened very often lately. Thomas Bryant hasn't been good in the post, but he took his time there. First time he's taken his time and gone to the rim in a while.
Ellis against McRoberts. You highlighted his defense in the first half.
You think you can beat McRoberts, but his second step is so good that he gets there, squares his shoulders.
Harris, contested shot.
Same thing I told you in the first half. Newkirk, Johnson, Blackman are doing a good job of not allowing themselves to be screened.
That little hesitation move all the way.
Spread the floor, drive the big guy.
And Michigan State wants a timeout. For all that Tom Izzo was unhappy with in the first half, I don't think he's real thrilled with the last couple minutes.
Yeah, and this wasn't an official's problem. They're taking away his shoulder. But Bryant goes to his fun shoulder and uses a nice shot fake. And here, spread it out. Drive against the big guy. No chance.
The two winningest programs in the history of the sport. Run, baby, run. What a capper for a great Big 12 SEC challenge.
This is going to be a blockbuster.
So that's 1 week from today. Last year they played at Fog Allen, right? Now they go to Rupp. Kansas, Kentucky. Tom Izzo's been such an aggressive scheduler, non-conference over his career. This year, even he said, maybe I overdid it with a young team.
I think he did. But again, he did not know he wasn't going to have Schilling or Carter. Those are two older guys that could have handled it a lot better. One thing we got to talk about, Robert Johnson's defense on Bridges has been really good.
Miles Bridges has been mostly quiet. A near turnover. Ellis lob to Bridges. Wow.
That was a tremendous pass by Ellis. The double team came. They never got back to Bridges, and Ellis found him.
How do you defend that? That's tough.
Get back, double team, get back, and get out of the way. I think's the best one.
Here's Blackman. Another three from him. Rebound Bridges. Ellis had a look from three, instead a little out of control. Bridges, good hustle. Now Ward scores.
Hey, Ward did a great job there sticking with the shot because the ball rolled off his hand. He shot that with his wrist, stayed on the backboard, got a bucket. Good call here. That's a bad call. That was on Thomas Bryant.
Good call, bad call.
Watch, you'll see Bridges. He's way down here. This is after the double team, and he's begging for it. Two guys go, Blackman and Johnson, get confused, and man, oh man. Telling you, Josh Smith of the Atlanta Hawks, not big Josh Smith of UCLA ruined that program and then do nothing at Georgetown fame. Josh Smith, NBA guy.
Here's Johnson, three.
Right wing, he's down.
Yeah.
You like that, huh?
He's really good. You packed a lot into one sentence.
I know.
I liked the good call there, bad call there. That was
I thought the call was going to go
too.
against Bryant.
All right, We got to sneak this one in. Coming up later on ESPN, 2 more really good games. Kentucky, they may get tested by South Carolina. Frank Martin's defense is very good. That's at 6 Eastern on ESPN. And then Miami, they have been a pain for Duke. Even when Duke has its best teams, the Hurricanes have been tough on Coach K and company. No Coach K tonight. That will be the nightcap at Cameron Indoor. Both of them right here on ESPN. Cassius Winston. Michigan State really needs more from him. Maybe that's a start.
Well, you were getting nothing out of Nairn, and what Tom Izzo saw was double teams in the post off of Nairn, so you bring in a guy, Winston, that can shoot it, a little more offensive-minded.
Indiana's tough to beat when they make a lot of shots from the outside. They've already made 9 in this game from 3.
Should be a little pin down here for Johnson coming to the top of the key. Here he comes.
There he is. Johnson through the defense. Good recovery by Ward. McRoberts open for 3.
I'm telling you, you play defense and hustle, shots go in.
Ward, Bryant denied it. Here's the lead. Johnson, 1 dribble layup. Ward, for the moment, will quiet this crowd.
And that was smart by Michigan State. Go right inside. Tom Crean going to get Bryant out of there. Not much resistance.
(59-41), even with that dunk. Ward trying to fight through McRoberts. Some extra contact. Bryant, yeah, he just wanted to shoot that. You could see all the way. Bridges got knocked off balance.
Best coached kid on the floor is McRoberts. He played for a high school coach in Scott Hattie at Carmel High School, where they won state championships, but more importantly, they guarded. This kid has been guarding all day. You see now again the pass up ahead. 2 best players on the floor, Blackman, Johnson, but McRoberts third.
And the Hoosiers are playing like the weather. 59-41. Indiana with the lead in the second half. Wendy's Wouldn't Watch Big Ten midseason top 25 candidates. Hap, Hayes, Swanigan, and Trimble. No Peter Jock. No James Blackman, who is making an argument today for being on that list.
Yeah, remember a few years ago, no Victor Oladipo halfway through, and he ended up winning.
So it can happen.
Absolutely. Peter Jock has had a terrific year. James Blackman as well, really coming on.
Johnson playing at a high level. He's got 15, and Indiana has controlled this game.
Look at Indiana's defense. Nowhere to go with the basketball.
Harris drives by. He found a place to go.
He did. Because of the pressure out on the perimeter, the baseline was isolated. Didn't keep the ball in front, but you'll live with that as a coach because the pressure was tremendous.
Green against Winston. Here's Johnson really trying to keep him from getting in the lane, so he shot the jumper.
Well, there's that weave we were talking about. This time you back off. He shot it, bad luck.
Dangerous pass. Bridges just kind of bullet his way in. Out of bounds off of Michigan State.
You could probably make the argument that there were 3 travels there.
I think there were.
Yeah. Robert Johnson, this is going back. You see 1976 Indiana Hoosiers, last undefeated team. That kid named Bobby Wilkerson on the team who just did everything. And he was 6'7", jump center. But Robert Johnson reminds me of Bobby Wilkerson. Just absolutely everything for the team.
Green 3, in and out. And the loose ball. Goins has it.
Nice pass.
Good bounce pass. That's what Winston can give you.
That's what he has to give you. You know, that was a thread the needle, man running Main Street. Only one guy was going to catch it, or it was going to go out of bounds pass, which was fantastic. Splits 2 guys.
Wow. McRoberts committed his 3rd foul. He might have also raked Miles Bridges across the face. You know, the freshman, super talented. Missed 7 games, getting back in shape. And really playing well. Had his career high on Sunday in Columbus. Has been much quieter here today.
Well, I think Robert Johnson has done a really good job on him. And then when it hasn't been Johnson, it was Zach McRoberts that has done a really good job.
Roberts, for the moment, will come out of the game. Michigan State's just 5 of 10 at the free throw line. When you're trying to keep up with this Indiana offense, the way they're playing, you got to make those free throws.
Yeah, you can't have turnovers. Just got a little scouting report from Michigan's Andrew Dockich. Just sent me a text. Dad, if Michigan State comes back, it's going to be because of Cassius Winston. He's really good. There you go.
Okay. Nice, easy summary. I mean, that was a tremendous pass.
Yeah. And I always listen to players. A lot of times before games, I'll call the guys at Michigan, just see what they think, because players know.
Push on Winston. He commits the foul.
If you can do it, you have to. Like right now, Michigan State's in the zone, maybe man-to-man. They're not sure. But if you can do it in your Michigan State, you got to make Freddie McSwain shoot the basketball. Help off his man, clog up the lane, double team, whatever you got to do.
Well, they're calling Davis for clearing out on the low block, offensive foul.
Telling you, this is the third time that I've seen an Indiana guy do that. Last time it was called against the defense. You're going to see Davis do it right here. He's holding him off. His arm was extended. You extend your arm, easy call.
Yeah, maybe even make contact up over the shoulders, too.
Don't tell him that, because then it'll be a 5-minute delay.
But we don't need a review, just play on. Not a great pass. Bridges saves it. Here's Winston weaving his way through. Missed the shot. Offensive rebound. Bridges. Whistle and block.
Great call. Indiana fans aren't going to like it. They can throw their hands up, but that was the right call. Good choice not to settle for a jumper, and you see right there the right hand went in. Newkirk's going to go in, slide over, right hand, grabs him. Perfect call.
Third foul on Josh Newkirk.
Got a red starter, old Bob Knight sweaters went up around us.
There's a little history here of not agreeing with every call.
Oh, man.
And you were alongside for many of those disagreements.
When he threw that chair right from about where the assistants are, I was sitting right next to him. It was a day like this, beautiful day. First time Coach Knight did not wear a sport coat at a game.
And the rest of us sort of thought, can you believe what just happened? I don't know if you had that reaction.
We
Probably
saw him
not.
throw 51 in practice, all-time record. Randy Whitman counted him.
February 23rd, 1985. You were there.
Remember it well. Getting ready to go in the game.
Shot clock starting to wind down. Newkirk baseline draws a foul.
Michigan State has a better handle now, I think, defensively, but they're just not able to keep the ball in front of them. They got to square up just a little bit more.
That was good defense for about 30 seconds. Then Langford committed the personal. So new shot clock. Newkirk got it stripped. Winston, nice play. We'll see if the Spartans can take advantage. Indiana got back.
Really well. They got back really well.
Bridges three, in and out. That would have been big. Harris, good hustle. Spartans keep it. Extra pass. Langford wide open. Good.
Andrew Dockich knows what he's talking about. Winston with the steal. Got the ball back. Didn't force it. Found the open guy. 10-point game.
10-0 run to cut it to 10.
Blackman needs to get back in the game. And you see Izzo's trying to get his defense not to extend. He feels they're too far out. Play it to the top of the key with your heels, except against Blackman when he comes back in.
Green, Johnson left his feet. He'll get it back. Step back. Jumper too strong. Rebound, Green. That's a big one.
Oh, that'll make you put back things you never stole as a coach, Dave. That'll make you crazy.
Another foul against Winston, who has given Michigan State a spark.
No question about it. He's instant offense, driving, passing, finding.
All right, Chris, thanks for those updates. That is a big game in the Big Ten for Wisconsin going on the road. Alonzo Trier, though, already making an impact. That's not easy. I know he's been practicing with the team, but today's his first game back.
I have never, and I've been around college basketball since 1981, I've never heard of a PED suspension. And I'm sure there have been. I just have never never heard of it. He's a good player. Hope he gets everything straightened out. And you're right. Wisconsin at Minnesota. Minnesota scuffling a little bit.
We saw the Badgers. It wasn't perfect for Wisconsin on Tuesday at home against Michigan.
No, Michigan played really well and played great today.
Big win for the Wolverines. Blackman all the way.
You just have to leave if you are the big man and go guard Blackman, make these other guys defend him. I'm a little surprised that they continually just play Blackman one-on-one.
That was a really good outlet, I thought, from Cassius Winston, who has played so much better in the second half.
No doubt about it. Cassius Winston's been tremendous. Look at this. Stay with him. You don't care about Thomas Bryant. Other guy will rotate in. And Bridges should have come over off of Freddie McSwain. You don't care if Freddie McSwain shoots the ball. You've got to stop Blackman.
Now, the Spartans have showed some spunk here the last few minutes. That basket by Blackman snapped a 4-minute scoreless drought for Indiana. They need every point Michigan State does that they can get at the line. Harris has one more coming.
Well, they have to, yes. They cannot miss free throws. And on this end, keep the ball in front of you and don't let Blackman get a good look.
23 points for Blackman with still 11 minutes to go, basically. Harris has 18. Jones, the freshman, back in the game. A little out of control, but did not turn it over. Here's McSwain going against Bridges. He's the guy. Yeah, I thought that was a double dribble. Yeah, it was. So that's an Indiana turnover. Hey, Indiana, look, the season has not been quite the way they wanted it to be, but how about that scene? 8 a.m. this morning at Kilroy's.
I used to get my mail there and across the street at Nick's. I understand those people. Yeah, those are my people.
You spent a little time there. It was unbelievable walking around downtown on campus.
There is much more, and I think that's a bad shot. He needed to go obliterate Curtis Jones, he being Bridges. He just settled right there, but the enthusiasm that Fred Glass, the athletic director, Tom Crean have put into this school, not just the athletic department, but this school with selling jerseys.
Thomas Bryant, McSwain follows.
And you got to do that. I don't even know why you have to help on Bryant. Just make Bryant shoot the ball.
Ward down low, double team comes. He committed an offensive foul.
Yeah, he hooked him. Really good defense right there by Bryant. And Tom Izzo going nuts with Bridges, and he should, because 2 possessions he settled. But look, you have him right here. No need to run and jump at a ball, Bridges, that you have no chance to get. None. Bridges just jumps. No chance. Leaves the backside open, and it's a dunk. Also, when Bryant turned the corner, the entire backside should have been coming in, knocking McSwain into the bleachers.
Johnson, high up off the rim. Bryant attacked the offensive glass, ended up going over the back though.
But that was so good by Michigan State because they did not let Blackman get the ball. They denied Blackman to 25 feet. Somebody else has got to go do it. Fine.
Well, Bridges is going to come back in. Tom Izzo just wanted a minute to talk to his freshman.
No, he wanted to yell and scream at him and tell him, don't be soft when you get it on the block. I mean, look, he has Curtis Jones on the block. Curtis Jones weighs $105. And Bridges is supposed to be a lottery pick, so you got to go obliterate the other kid.
In the bonus, Ellis earns the second. Look, it's not like this is new information. 2001, the last time a Tom Izzo player was picked in the top 10 in the NBA draft. Think of all the great teams, all the wins. That's 15 years. And I think everybody expects Bridges is going to end that drought, but it's not been quite as smooth of a transition. The injury's been a big part of it for a very talented and willing player. He's a hard worker.
Well, people will tell you this is their best recruiting class. I don't buy it. The class with Mateen Cleaves, Charlie Bell, you win a national championship, that's your best recruiting class. People ask me at Indiana, what's the all-time best recruiting class? That's easy. Buckner, May, Wilkerson, Cruz. I don't know where they were picked, but big possession right here. You know, you hear guys say it all the time, the 10-point barrier. Here's what happens in Bloomington. If they get a 3 here or an easy bucket, you're going to hear this crowd go down for a little bit and then bring itself up. Big emotional thing here to get it under 10.
Winston, 3, good.
Listen, you don't hear nothing. And if they turn it over here.
Uh-oh, for the Hoosiers.
And then they'll come back. But after the 8-minute timeout, it's the world's greatest timeout. But you feel it right now.
Roberts back in with those 3 fouls. I think they missed him. They didn't play as well when he went to the bench.
I love what Aaron Harris is doing here.
Johnson just kind of flung it up. Bryant got the miss. He'll go to the free throw line.
What I loved about Harris was he was playing no help against James Blackman, and he was doing it on top of Blackman, making others go to the rim. But Thomas Bryant has been smart, McSwain smart on the backboard.
Even these free throws. Indiana led this game by 20 at one point.
I asked you in one of the breaks, you think they'll be nervous in here, and they are now.
There's still a long way to go, 8:21. First one good after Miami-Duke tonight. Don't miss SportsCenter at night. Lisa Kearney, Kevin Connors, lots to go over in the NBA, college hoops, tons of great games, good finishes, tennis in Melbourne. And Kevin and Lisa will have it for you streaming live on the ESPN app after Miami-Duke. He missed the second. Goins with the rebound.
Well, Thomas Bryant's pretty good in the clutch.
And another good lead pass from Winston. Offensive foul.
That was really good by Bryant. He didn't hang his head. He got to where he's supposed to be, under the bucket. Offense, Ellis got out of control. Now what you have to do for your Bryant, he's walking like he's half dead in front of us. He's just got to get up and play. You made a good play, just go play. Nobody cares if you think you're hurt. Great play, Thomas Bryant.
He did. He put it on the line there. He is still kind of limping around. There's Newkirk under the basket. Blackman in between the legs. Harris has been on him.
Really good.
Pull up 3. Another one.
Oh, man. What a shot.
Most points that James Blackman has ever scored in a Big Ten game today. And he's got 7:45 to add to it.
And you played as good a defense, if you're Aaron Harris, as you possibly could. Too much Blackman. As my partner Dave Fleming enjoys the world's greatest timeout, let's enjoy James Blackman Jr. 26 points already tying his season high. And I got to tell you, this shot there, man, oh man, Aaron Harris has played very good defense over the past 7-8 minutes, not letting Blackman get the ball, but right there, Blackman just lifted up over him with under pressure. He's feeling not much you can do.
I mean, there's no chance you've oversold this just a little bit.
No, when you go to YouTube, it'll in Google, whatever the heck it is, the world's greatest timeout. This comes out. It's unbelievable.
So
Cheers
Google
to the
world's greatest
Google
timeout.
or YouTube, world's greatest timeout.
I mean, it's great. I'm into it.
I don't know what goes on in Brazil. You know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure what happens, you know, in Panama during a big soccer game.
World's big place.
Huge.
James Blackman has been so good today. You said it in the first half. I'm going back to the game-winning shot he made against Penn State. I mean, he looked right from the opening tip tonight like he was just totally ready to go.
You know, it's no different. You do the Giants in baseball. A guy gets a couple hits the night before, even if they have a day off, he's feeling it. And you get a confidence about you. And I think James Blackman, ever since that shot against Penn State, has been feeling it.
Well, I think during that timeout, Molly, did you have a chance to listen in with Tom Izzo?
Yeah, Izzo was very frustrated with Miles Bridges. He was talking to him for most of the timeout. He was mad at him because he didn't get a rebound before the break. He wants his freshman to really step it up. A lot of tough love in that huddle, guys.
And he doesn't need Play-Doh or coloring books. Good for Miles Bridges.
You see all the athletic tools. Number 22 still on the court, playing defense here with the Spartans.
You cannot let, he got it back. You can't let him get it back.
Here he goes, trying again. Not this time.
That was bad offensive set. You know, at halftime, Tom Crean told Molly movement without the ball is going to be important with Blackman. Since Harris has gotten on top of him, he stopped moving.
He has made some shots anyway, but you're right. Thomas Bryant with 4 fouls. He's on the bench. Not a good pass from Harris. Spartans got a break.
Yeah, but really good defense by Davis. Davis came over. It looked like there was going to be a layup. Davis just said, "The heck with Goins. I'm stopping the basketball." Coach Knight used to have a great saying. He'd ask you, what scores? Well, my man scores. No, the ball goes through the rim. Never lose sight of the ball.
Bridges, too strong. Gets his own miss. Harris off the kick out. 3.
Man, that was nice by Bridges. What did Molly just say Izzo was mad about? Rebounding. What did Bridges do? He didn't sulk. Rebounded. Kicked it 3.
21 for Aaron Harris. The lead is 6. As well as Indiana has played, this is very much a game.
If I'm Goins, I've got to get back in there and help.
Now they're going to call Harris for a foul, trying to keep the ball away from James Blackman.
That's a bad foul. Didn't need to happen. The battle was on the block. All Goins had to do was say, "Look, I'm helping you." Harris could just fall in behind.
Tom Izzo wants an explanation. 1-and-1 free throws for a good free throw shooter.
When a team is struggling and not moving, you just can't bail them out. And particularly when the best shooter in the gym gets to go shoot free throws.
One quick point about free throws. We mentioned how Michigan State couldn't afford to leave points at the line. They made 9 in a row. The Spartans have at the free throw line. That free throw advantage is starting to pile up.
Yeah, and Goins making a couple is big. Remember, that's a former walk-on, and this place is packed and energized. He just stepped right up and knocked him.
Season high 27, and he's going to get another one.
Izzo didn't see Bridges. He's asking who, and Bridges very obviously with his left foot stepped in. It's not even close. He's on the lower left. There he is. That's big.
It's an extra point if he makes this, and he does.
That's the old 3 to make 2. NBA style 80s.
Winston now matched up against the big guy, Davis. And Green's having to defend Goins. Winston lobbed to Bridges.
Oh, man. Hey, Winston was not going to give up the ball. And again, when you drive at somebody, back cut defense was open outside the lane, couldn't see behind. What a pass, Cassius Winston. Getting it done.
I think he's been their best player in the second half.
Total difference. Total difference maker, Winston. You cannot let Blackman get this ball back.
Davis making his way closer, no good, and a good tip by Bridges to Harris.
Yeah, really good. No give in the defense, making Davis play through and over somebody not around.
Look at Michigan State hanging around in this game. They were down 20.
They got the switch they wanted again. Same exact thing.
They might try it again. Winston crossover. Oh, what a pass!
I'm Indiana. I'm not making that switch anymore.
That is not a good matchup for the Hoosiers.
Oh, man.
Wow.
What a move.
Well, the freshman from Detroit, he has keyed this comeback, I think.
There's no question. Hey, there is absolutely no question. Tum Tum Nairn was losing the ball. Cassius Winston, great move. You go to the next guy. Cassius Winston has been the entire difference in this game for Michigan State. Look at this. All right. A little back cut lob because lots of defense. Defense gets open here outside the lane. You see number 15, McRoberts, no idea. And then this is just, hey, look, I said it earlier with Blackman. Spread the court, get a big guy against a little guy, let the little guy dance. This is sweet, Dave. Look at this. Oh. Guards, play underneath. He played underneath the defense. Now, 5 minutes ago, Assembly Hall, you got to keep doing it because Indiana's going to score.
You know, Tom Izzo did a little self-critique this week and said, you know, maybe I need to just let Winston play through a few mistakes, give him some more extended playing time. Maybe that's what's happened here in the second. He's been on the court a lot. He's gotten into the flow of the game.
He played him 11 minutes previous game, came on my radio show, said exactly that. I've got to get Cassius Winston in the game more, put him in at the right time.
Closest it's been since 14-10. Been a long climb for the Spartans.
You cannot let Blackman get it again.
Harris trying to deny. I think he might be a little tired. Here's Green down the lane, contested off the glass.
Man, he's tough. And you know what? The coaching staff, Michigan State, Dane Fife et al. Just went nuts because they played defense exactly how they wanted to.
Winston goes by another Hoosiers player. Bridges three. Rebound, Thomas Bryant back in the game.
Yeah, pretty good. Winston just blew by Blackman, but the help came, and I thought a little bit of hesitation out of Bridges.
He's been making those shots, but that was a big miss.
Huge. Can't let Blackman get the ball, and you can't foul.
They screened Harris, so Blackman did catch it. Tough contested shot. They call a foul.
Foul. You can't foul.
Well, the Spartans have made quite a comeback. Do they have anything left in the tank for the final 3:45? Indiana trying to hang on.
I think they do, but they're going to have to not foul.
All right, the man of the afternoon, James Blackman, at the free throw line out of the timeout. Indiana has led by as many as 20. Blackman working on a career game. He's got 29. Still on 29. Can Michigan State make a final push?
Oh, there's no question, but I think you've got to go to Bridges on the block a little bit against Johnson here.
He's got him posted up. Winston's trying to figure out a way to get him the ball. Harris, runner, short, never hit the rim. They're going to call a foul, though, against Indiana. Yeah.
That was a terrible offensive possession, but again, end of the possession, you can't let a guy drive into the lane. Harris took advantage, got it up in the air. You keep it on the side, you got a real chance. Michigan State, as we all know, one of the great offensive rebounding programs in the history of the NCAA.
And this guy's a great offensive rebounding freshman. He is not a great free throw shooter. Double bonus, he does get 2.
He needs to make them both.
All right, that's not going to happen.
The reason I said he needs to make them both is you got to keep your momentum going here. You know, if you made them both, you have a chance to outscore Indiana by 1 in the last 2 possessions, and that's what you need to do. 2 misses deflates.
Well, they had made 9 straight as a team. He does get the second. Interesting that Winston comes out, and Nairn, who's not played in a while, is back on the court.
He may go offense-defense, Izzo may, here with Nairn, although I'm not so sure Nairn has been terrific defensively.
Bryant playing with 4 fouls. Bryant working his way in. Bryant finishes.
That's a welcome sign. You see Indiana fans are getting up because Thomas Bryant has not been doing that.
Nairn almost had it stolen away. Now he picks up his dribble. Bridges step back 3. Too strong. Langford, good tip to control it. And Green almost stole it away.
See, difference in Nairn and Bridges. Or excuse me, Nairn and Winston. Bridges was wide open on the block, and Nairn not savvy enough to get it to him. Somebody's got to show it in front of the rim.
Double team foul. fans aren't so sure. Well, two more really solid games. Kentucky, South Carolina, maybe the two best teams, certainly the best team in the SEC 6 Eastern. Right when we're done on ESPN. And then Miami, Duke from Cameron, 8:15 with the game day crew there. Saturday primetime presented by AT&T. So we are far from done on ESPN with college hoops tonight. Robert Johnson just committed his 4th foul. And Ward, who was just at the line, back there to make the first.
If you're Indiana, you've got to keep doing what you have been doing, which is early in the clock, put pressure on the defense to either foul or get past for a layup. Late clock, now you got to figure it out. Are you going to Thomas Bryant or are you spreading for James Blackman?
Ward got them both. One other point, he's going to check out. Goins back in about Miles Bridges. We heard from Molly early in the second half. Tom Izzo got all over Bridges about rebounding. He's got a double-double now.
Yeah, he started to rebound after that, both offensively and defensively. But here, if you're Michigan State, you just can't reach in and commit an unnecessary foul.
Bryant.
You can leave. You can leave McRoberts if you can get back and block him out.
Bryant just was not going to give that one up. He missed it, followed his own miss. Newkirk comes away with the ball.
Got lucky because they had been calling over the back. No call, good no call.
That could have been more free throws, could have been foul number 5.
Huge no call, and I think a good one. They're trying to get the ball to Blackman here. Top of the key if they can.
Huge possession for the Michigan State defense. Blackman, crossover, Blackman, good! What a game! Bridges, nice look. Langford 3. Spartans might have needed that one. Goins got fouled, though.
Boy, there was no might. A fall down on one end. Michigan State sprinted it down. Look at Blackman here. You know what I liked about this? He caught the ball with a running start. He didn't catch it from a stationary position moving backwards, and I think it gave him great momentum going to the rim.
Hoosiers have had a hard time with Michigan State. They have lost 5 in a row. Of course, different teams this year, but Michigan State's even won 2 in a row in this building.
This is the best Indiana's played against legitimate teams.
Since the non-conference?
Yeah, I mean, they played well here against North Carolina, but I think they played better in this game given the fact that OG Anunoby and Juwan Morgan are out. I think all around this is their best game.
And Anunoby's not coming back, so they're going to have to learn to live without him for the rest of this year. 2 big free throws for the Spartans, who are down 6 with 1:15.
I like this. You have to pressure Indiana harder. Indiana will throw the ball to us if you give them enough chances.
They did it. It was right about this point of the game against Penn State when they just melted down. They needed a Blackman game winner to survive. Under a minute to go. Here's Blackman. He wants it. He gave it up, though. Newkirk contested off the side of the backboard. Shot clock violation.
Great defense. Great defense. Nairn on the right side got way in the passing lane or the driving lane. Did not allow penetration. Got back to Newkirk. Izzo will call a timeout. He always calls a timeout in these situations, and I believe he'll call it in front of him.
He's got Winston back in the game. Let's see. Yeah, he wants one. Gonna let the ball roll. And then he will, right at that spot, call the timeout.
Every time. And what you'll see is, with Tom Izzo here, you'll see something quick where they can get it on the block. Usually a little circle action, but it'll end up being in the hands of Cassius Winston.
So a timeout for both teams to talk about the final 42.9 seconds to go. And Indiana, look, they hung on and got the win against Penn State the other night. How do they avoid, though, what happened? Because it was not pretty, right? Against the Nittany Lions, they had the game totally in control with a minute to go and almost lost it.
And there's no excuse, Dave. What happens with Indiana is they have 3 point guards usually out there, whether it's Green and Newkirk along with Robert Johnson and Blackman. You've got ball handlers out there. They threw it, as I said, to us. What Michigan State has to do is get a bucket and then decide 42 seconds, 4-point game, whatever it's going to be. Do you foul or don't you? 3-point game you won't. 4-point game you probably will. After trapping really tough to try to get him to throw the ball away. They're going to throw it right in if they can.
Here's Winston. Trying to get Harris free. He sort of fumbled the catch, and that's interrupted the rhythm of the play. He'll shoot the three anyway. No good.
Bad play by Harris. It was set for him. What they did was they back screened and then they re-screened for him. As you said, he fumbled it, and it was almost like at the timeout, Harris heard, hey, you're shooting a three. That's what he heard. As opposed to, if it's not there, go to something else.
I think that's a good read of what happened.
No question. He was not giving that ball up.
Huge defensive rebound for Thomas Bryant on a night where Indiana's been out-rebounded, which has not happened much this year.
That's the OG, I'm sorry, because I'm naming my son Andrew OG. Or my next son, my fictional son. But that's not having him, or that's not having Juwan Morgan out there.
You had a lot going on in that last sequence.
Yeah. I got fake sons.
Well, this fictional free throw from Thomas Bryant.
Fictional.
Yeah, that was a new word for me. Good. That was totally real. Bryant made them both.
Yeah, he's not afraid. Thomas Bryant is not afraid to step up in big moments.
He can test the three, no good. Michigan State, in the end, is still not over, but they needed a couple of these. They've had some pretty decent looks in the last minute and a half.
What they needed right there was for Langford to read that and just go get fouled, because Thomas Bryant was coming out to defend and jump and run at the shooter.
He was going to foul him. Bridges three. Got that one.
That was a heck of a play right there. That was a great out-of-bounds set. Coaches, get your pen and paper if you DVR'd this game and run that. That's good stuff.
So not over yet. While we have the quick timeout and a free moment, let's go back to the studio and check with Chris Cotter. I'm fascinated for that game, too, with the Kentucky offense against that stout South Carolina defense. Here's the play you were talking about.
This is absolutely beautiful. You're going to see some circle action, and eventually you're going to see this guy, Bridges, pop to the corner, but watch how he gets there. Winston goes. Now Winston comes right back looking to screen somebody. That is a great out-of-bounds play, and truthfully, it was not executed well because Winston was supposed to come back and nail number 4 Johnson. He didn't do it, but the play was so good, and the defense got lost that they got an open three. Coaches, draw that one up for you. Run it this afternoon or this evening in your high school game.
And they had to have that one. So big-time play. A good Saturday night high school hoops around the country.
Great high school hoops here in Indiana.
I saw a big game last night. Your local high school, right? Won a thriller.
There's no question. Riley Bertram with a 3 at the buzzer for Zionsville High School. He's going to Michigan on a baseball scholarship.
Okay, well,
there you go.
A walk-off.
You have to, if you can, not let Blackman get the ball. And if McRoberts gets it, it's automatic. You foul him.
They're trying to get it to Blackman, and a foul against Michigan State. I don't know about that one.
Ooh, man, I'm a big Terry Weimer fan.
I don't know about that one.
I don't either.
That was rushed and panicked, and let's see. Was there a hold, a push?
Well, Terry saw the push. Tum Tum Nairn gives him a push here.
Yeah. Okay.
Terry's rarely wrong. Terry's one of the great officials, if there's such thing.
How good has James Blackman been?
All-American good. He's defended too. That's what you're supposed to do. You've got guys out. You saw Hartman on the right, Morgan on the left. You're supposed to have guys step up.
Big time. Got them both. He's tied his career high, 33. Michigan State's got to go. Langford goes to the basket.
Gives you chances getting points. Now, if you can get a steal, you got a real chance.
13 seconds to go. Inbounding the ball for the Hoosiers the last couple of games has not been easy. They get it in to Johnson, and Michigan State hasn't fouled. Now they finally do let a few seconds tick off the clock.
They did. He got the ball. Johnson did with 12 seconds to go. Now it's 10.5. Obviously, that's a big difference.
Well, Langford has 4. He commits the personal. Hoosiers just trying to hang on. Both teams have made their free throws down the stretch.
Yeah, what a luxury to have Blackman and Robert Johnson as not only guys that can shoot, but guys that are willing. They want the ball, and they want to be in this position. And truthfully, so does Thomas Bryant.
Johnson's been a little overshadowed because Blackman's been so spectacular. He's been great. Final 10 seconds. Bridges got to shoot it. He does. No good. Rebound controlled by Johnson, and that will end it.
Well, that's a big-time win for Indiana without a couple of their best players. And credit James Blackman. He started with 16 quick, and they held on for a big-time win.
Well, they hadn't won 3 in a row since early December. They're above 500 in Big Ten play and even missing some key pieces. Maybe this is the game that gets the Hoosiers headed back in the right direction.
The same thing as last year. No James Blackman, no Robert Johnson. Next thing you know, they get better, win the Big Ten. Next man up, that man, James Blackman, and a pretty good effort by Thomas Bryant as well, both ends.
Well, Blackman ties his career high 33 points. He hit free throws. He made 6 threes. He did a little bit of everything for the Hoosiers. For Molly McGrath, for Dan Dakich, Dave Fleming saying so long. Fun one here at Assembly Hall. More college hoops coming, South Carolina and Kentucky. So long, everybody.